Awareness and Attention. That is the title of our story today at the My Kids Locker COVID-19 podcast. This is Victoria Wolders, your podcast host, and I hope that you are doing well today, wherever you are in the world. Today, we get to share another beautiful empathy tale and have an opportunity to share with you a lesson and an extension lesson. So, I hope today you listen, create, and innovate. On to part one.
To part one. Are you comfy? Are you cozy? Well, get ready to listen.
Well, here we are in part one. We're so excited that you're still here and we are able to talk about a mindful moment. Well, today's mindful moment is focused on the word authenticity. Repeat after me. Authenticity. It's a very interesting word. Authenticity means the quality of being true to oneself. Authenticity. Being authentic. When was the last time that you were authentic? That you shared your opinions and you shared the way you viewed the world? Perhaps you had an opinion. Perhaps you questioned something. Being authentic is a very important part of our world because we are all unique and all special and we all have different perspectives. Well, take some time today to think about being authentic. I'm going to say the mindful statement one more time. Authenticity, the quality of being true to oneself. I hope that you enjoyed today's lesson. And mindful moment. Here we go on to part two.
Hi everyone, welcome back to part two today. We are going to create something amazing and let's get crafty. Bye.
This is an awesome opportunity for you to be doing some cool stuff with layout. This week, we're focusing on style in our writing. So with that focus, we are going to be working with two different villages today. One is called awareness, and the other is attention. Each has perceived strengths and weaknesses. In today's activity, you are going to have an opportunity to be able to draw and build one of the villages. You get to choose which village you like to build. And then afterwards, I would love for you to pretend to be a tour guide. And what you're going to do is either write down or tell someone in your home about the village that you built. So you might want to pretend to be someone who has an accent. You might want to go up to your sibling or your parent, and you might want to show them your design and tour them around the village. It's your choice, but today we're going to work on style, and the style is pretending to be a tour guide. So you are going to communicate like a tour guide. If you have the ability to write down your tour, that would be lovely. So take some time to write down your tour. And those kids that can, please do so. Okay, awesome. I think we're almost ready for our story. This story is called Awareness and Attention, and there are two villages on either side of the valley. They become angry at each other because they view the world through two different perspectives. Learn about community building, kindness, connection through this awesome empathy tale. Well, I hope that you enjoy this story, and now on to the story, Awareness and Attention.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, in the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, in the land of the Southern Eagle, there lived elves in a valley. One was on one side of the valley, and his name was Attention. And there was another elf on the other side of the valley, and his name was Awareness. Every time people would walk by their cottages, the elves would say different things. Whenever someone would walk by Attention, he would say, "Have you seen the beautiful ladybug and the intricate colors on its wings? Have you seen the leaves and all the different lines on the leaves? Have you seen the little gray and black pebbles that are on the side of the creek? Have you paid attention to all the little things that are around you? Everyone would be like, attention, you're way too focused on the little things. And he would look at them in their eyes and say, have you looked closely at your nose and the shape of your nose? Have you looked at the shape of your eyes and your mouth? If you pay attention, you will be grateful. There is beauty that's in the world. So many people would just laugh and walk away. However, there were a few people that really believed in him. So there started to be a village that would form around attention. And people started to call this little village the village of attention. People started to realize that paying attention to little things was a really important thing. However, on the other side of the valley, there was the elf named Awareness. Whenever someone would walk past his cottage, they would say, have you ever thought of how deep and how wide the ocean was? How big and beautiful the sky and space are? People began to learn more about the importance of awareness. And the village of Awareness would say, if you look at all the people in the world, don't you think it's pretty amazing that all our hearts beat as well as our lungs breathe? So just as the village of attention started to build, a village of awareness started to build. If you just take the time to look at all the big things around you, you will realize how grateful we are, said the elf named Awareness. What happened was people started to hear the elf Awareness, and they started to think of the big things and the wide things and the vast things. So all of these elves that started to believe in awareness or attention decided to build homes in the village they best believed in. The elf Awareness in his village loved his people. And the people of attention grew to really love the elf Attention. The Awareness village was led by this elf named Awareness, and they decided to crown him King Awareness. And the Attention village was led by an elf named Attention, as stated earlier, and they crowned him King Attention. They started to build bigger villages. One large castle was built in each village to house their elf king. The Attention village gave great detail and attention to their castle. They did beautiful designs and architecture, which included marble statues and intricate beading and jewels. They put gold specks into the walls with their own hands. The Attention castle was so intricate with detail. It was just absolutely amazing. However, the villagers of Attention did not think of the Awareness, and they had built their castle on sand. There was going to be a problem because although they were attentive to the little things, such as the details of the gold specks, they had forgotten that they had built the castle on sand. Their beautifully built castle quietly started sliding without anyone knowing. Yet on the other side of the valley, the Awareness village too started to build a beautiful castle. They realized that they wanted to save the trees and they wanted to save the water. They did appoint the elf Awareness king as head of everything. Instead of building a castle that was detailed like the Attention Castle, they chose to build a smaller one with a smaller foundation. Yet the foundation was firm, it was on rocks, and they decided to do one that was very high and had a very high tower because they wanted to make sure everyone had awareness of the whole land and the whole surroundings. The Awareness King recognized that this was very important to his people. Anyone being able to go up to the tower could look around and celebrate awareness. The only thing was, though, is that the people of awareness forgot to pay attention to the small little details of the foundational material that they were using to build the castle. What happened over time was that the materials that they were using weren't very good quality. So although that they should have used a very hard granite, they chose not to use granite. They decided to use limestone. And limestone can corrode it when it rains and over a period of time. The Attention Village and the Awareness Village started to look at each other and say, well, our village is better than your village. The Attention Villagers would say, ours is better than yours because ours have more detail and gold and gems. However, the Awareness Villagers would say, oh no, ours is the best because we have the highest tower and we can see all across the Oak and Eagle Kingdom. So they started to become quite angry at each other. Some elves and humans from each village would meet in the middle to trade because they had to. Each of them had each of their strengths. So, for example, the Attention Villagers always made these intricate, beautiful jewelry and metalwork, and the people of Awareness chose to sell vegetables and fruit because they knew and had awareness over the seasons that if they planted at certain times, they would grow a great harvest. They were aware of the changing seasons, so they were very good gardeners. The villagers started to get angry at each other because they started to think that their products were the best products. As there was envy and anger that increased, so did the age of the Awareness Castle and the Attention Castle. So one day, one bright summer day in July, all of a sudden, both of the villages started to hear a rumble at the same time. What happened was there was an earthquake, and the people of Attention in their intricate castle slid down. The people who lived in Awareness, although they had thought that they had saved the trees and cared for the environment, and they had a beautiful tower, however, they didn't use the proper materials, so their castle started to crumble to the ground. Both didn't know what to do. They had both prided themselves over each of their castles and the fact both of their kings had lost their ways. So what happened was the people of Attention came into the deep valley and the people of Awareness came into the deep valley, and they met together. What should we do? We both have lost our castles, and many of our homes have been damaged. Well, they thought to themselves and said, I think if we together can build a community of awareness and attention, then we can use our gifts and strengths to help each other. We can come together to build beautiful things and appreciate each other. Our gifts and strengths can be empowered by each other. The King Awareness and the King Attention came to be unified, and they considered themselves close friends. They built a castle together in the valley between them. They chose to use each other's strengths. They decided to save trees and the environment because of the awareness and build a tall tower because they had trained people in awareness how to build tower. Yet, they were able to help with attention because attention was able to do intricate details. They built a castle together in the valley. They both were able to live in different parts of the castle, overlooking different parts of their village together. They reigned together. Together they called their village Attention and Awareness Village. The people and elves came together because they saw their giftings and celebrated their strengths. And through their strengths, they were able to make their community stronger. The end.
Hi everyone, it's time to innovate, part 3.
Woo. Well, here we are. We are now on to part 3. We're so excited that you were able to join us today for our story. And now we get to share a little bit of an extension lesson. So today the story was awareness and attention. And this week we're focusing on style in our writing. And so with the story, we have 2 different villages. They're named differently because they have different perspectives. Names of villages are fascinating, and the reasons why villages and cities are named the way they are named is because of explorers, their location, legends, or perhaps even famous people. There are a lot of reasons why people are named the way, or their cities are named the way they're named. Learn about different cities and locations in your area and find out why they are named the way they are named. So, for example, I live in Langley, British Columbia, Canada. There is a city very close to us called Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Vancouver used to be an explorer, and he explored the west coast of Canada. That is the reason why the city was called Vancouver. So, take some time today, with permission of your parents, to go online and to learn a little bit about the local villages. That is your extension lesson for today. I hope that you enjoy it. If you need to put a pause on the podcast, please feel free to do so. Well, we are now going to wrap up this episode. I hope that you enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope that sometime I will see you soon at another COVID-19 Ed podcast episode. Until next time, less screens, listen, create, and innovate. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.